Everybody, thank you very much tonight for coming back again to the pigsty. Tonight we have been joined by Answers in Reason. I need to keep that getting right because I keep saying Answers in Atheism because that's fucking what he calls weather reports. I keep getting the two of them mixed up. But Answers in Reason, the link's in the description. Wonderful wee channel that I've been subscribed for a while, man. I seen you on Facebook, or not on Facebook, fuck Facebook. I seen you on Twitter arguing with people. The whole philosophy arguments, which we'll get down into. But I've followed the channel for a while, but as we did discuss, you stream on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and you're UK, and I stream on a Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm UK, and we very rarely get a chance to actually watch each other's stuff live. But Dave, Joe, if you want to introduce yourselves, the floor is yours.
I'm Dave, known as Trolley Dave on Twitter. I'm one of the members of Answers in Reason, and that's about all I can say, really, except maybe I'm a student. I'm not very interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, everybody says they're not interesting, but people watch, people come by. Joe says you're not so bad, and Luke in the chat has not shut up since I talked to Luke about the fact that I have to keep talking. I have to talk to you two. Hold on, can't hear him? Oh, yous are muted, fuck's sake. Now yous are not muted. There we go. I'm an absolute asshole. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem with using Streamlabs. You keep forgetting to unmute the fucking button.
I do it all the time.
We have now. There you are. Now they can hear them.
Right, start again.
We're starting again, everybody. Thanks for coming back today tonight. We have Joe. We have Dave. Would you like to introduce yourself? Dave did say he wasn't very interesting, but we're going to ignore that because you didn't hear him. Go again, Dave. Pretend you're interesting.
Oh, fuck, that's going to be hard. I'm Dave. I'm one of the members of Answers in Reason along with Joe. I am doing a computer science degree at the moment, and I've got a couple of other degrees behind me, as you can see. I mostly like to talk philosophy and make bad jokes and puns.
That sounds interesting.
I did my best.
And I'm a Joe. I'm an A Joe. Yeah, I am just one of the Joes.
Just the one Joe.
And I actually started Answers in Reason with a couple of people. The channel was originally, I say the site was originally a little bit different to what it is now. It was originally those standard atheist arguments that you might find out there. There was a lot of arguments against things like creationism, and there was the whole anti-vaxxing that inspired it. But now we've moved on, and we look into things in a bit of a different light, and we try and put a new lens on things and look at things a little bit more deeply, and be the skeptics that we claimed to be before. I'm a programmer by trade, not a very good one. I'm a hobbyist DJ, also not a very good one, as you might have seen from the pre-stream mixes on the channel.
He's brilliant.
No, I just get lucky sometimes. And other than that, I have a wife and 2 kids with her and another kid elsewhere. And if there's anything else you want to know, ask.
So the channel then was started by yourself, Joe, in relevance to Dave and Joe. Dave's the blow-in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was... I think, Dave, you started... probably only a couple of months after we started Answers in Reason as a site. So we were on various debate groups on Facebook, and the main inspiration was getting tired of having the same arguments over and over again that never went anywhere. And so it was like, right, do you know what? I just want to put my arguments somewhere on the internet, and then when someone comes out with me with these same things, I can just link them to it, and then if they were interested, we'd go from there. You know, if they actually read the article and had a decent response and engaged, cool. If not, then I realized it wasn't worth it. Now, I mean, before we did this, I was very much a bit of a keyboard warrior, I'd say. And I spent far too much time online arguing. And there's so many more interesting things you can do with your life, and yeah, it was a habit that I'm glad I mostly break. I still get sucked into arguments, and I wish I didn't.
It
but-
happens, yeah. There's
Yeah.
that's the troll in all of us that just loves to do that every now and again. You know, it's you're bored. I'm gonna pop over here and pretend to be someone else and have a bit of fun. Keyboard warring. It has its you know, I was gonna say its virtues. It's got very little virtues, but it has its usages. You know, being able to go in like. There's an awful lot of channels that would know me. If I go in under MathPig, I'm usually blue, it stands out, everybody says hello and all the rest of it. But it's nice to be able to pop in under an unknown. It's nice to be able to test the waters or whatever and give them a wee poke, maybe send them down a different direction. Or the human experiment, you know, how the mind works and things like that, which is leading into the philosophy. So both of you are computer guys. Where the fuck did the philosophy come from?
Well, I was a philosophy guy before I was a computer guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Dave's got 2 philosophy degrees. That's what the degrees are behind him. So you've got your bachelor's and your master's, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah.
Well as well as a psychology degree as well, don't you? So he's the educated one. I'm the idiot.
Well,
basically.
I know psychology, and he would say that philosophy is the foundation and psychology is the building, like, you know. So
Psychology is a pseudoscience anyway, right, Luke?
oh, if Marty, somebody text Marty.
I mean, just for clarity, we don't actually believe that, but it's one of those funny arguments that you keep seeing people pop up as saying, well, soft sciences aren't real science. And actually, they're harder sciences because there's less to test. So a soft science is actually harder than a hard science.
What about yourself, Joe? Philosophy always something you were into, or did you end up down a rabbit hole? Or?
So I was very much interested in philosophy when I was younger, and one of the times I tried to do my A-levels, I went and did a philosophy A-level, and it was all the standard arguments for God's existence, and I got very bored and I quit it. Mm-hmm. But it's always been something in the back of my mind that I've been interested in, but through conversations with Dave, really. I mean, I think it was about 3-4 years ago that we started having proper conversations, Dave, and we started doing a podcast. And
so there is history there that we have worked together before Answers in Reason.
Yes, well, I mean, Answers in Reason's been a blog that's been around for about 6 years now. And then there was the podcast, which was the Fresh Air podcast that I think we started about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. And we've only been streaming for a year on
just
YouTube.
Over a year,
a year and about 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a history there of us having these conversations. And it's something that very, very much interests me. And I've spent time doing my best to look into things. And the good thing is, every time I get stuck and go, what does this mean? I can ask him.
Yeah, you got the degrees, man. Put them to use. That's the entire fucking reason you spent all that time in school, was if Joe gets stuck on something, it's like, this is why I'm here.
It's the only use for a philosophy degree. That and Starbucks, as people say.
But then, so you have got a rapport, you've got friends. Did you just meet on the internet? Did you just know each other in real life?
Yeah, on the internet.
I think pretty much everyone in Answers in Reason met on the internet, except for someone that used to be on the podcast with us, Andy. He was someone I used to work with, and probably more in our trolley days, we used to, you know, wind up theists together. Yeah,
being from the UK, though, would you have had a religious background, Joe?
I actually did. So I grew up going to Christian schools, saying the Lord's Prayer every day, hymns and singing the hymns every day and all of that sort of thing. I actually spent a year living in America, and by that point I was sort of at odds with faith and exploring other religions as well. Mm-hmm. So I was going in and out of being agnostic, and oh no, I'm a Wiccan, and then I'm about agnostic as it, and oh no, I believe in the Norse gods, and now I'm agnostic about it all again. And I eventually became like a full-blooded atheist, but I was then back at boarding school, and I actually had to go to a church service every Sunday, and it really pissed me off because it was like, I don't believe in any of this. Why am I here? But obviously, it's one of the things you had to do as a boarder.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
so-
live there, you're going to have to fucking do it. Our primary school and stuff, you had your prayer in the morning when you went there. But it's more
Yeah.
cultural, it's more following through the motions, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, you wouldn't have been forced to go to Sunday school. Your parents weren't crazy Baptists or anything like that.
No,
there, you know?
and in fact, I actually asked to go to Sunday school when I was younger because my friends were going. So I had a bunch of friends who actually went, and I went, and it was to hang out with them. And after about 3 Sunday schools, I never went back again.
And Dave, yourself, do you have whereabouts are you from, Dave? Can I ask?
I'm originally from Manchester, but then I lived in Canada for a while, hence the accent. And I live in Wales now.
Ah, so yeah, accents all over the place.
Yeah, hence why I sound such a weirdo. That and the personality.
and something similar in the UK upbringing over here as well. Then, yeah, cultural, going through the motions, not really.
Oh, I've never been religious. My parents weren't religious. I got sent to Sunday school and then got kicked out after about half an hour. My parents had to come get me, and that was about the extent of it.
Right. No. Keep going. Now there's a story. Now come on. There's a story there. Did you try?
They were talking. Oh no, I didn't. I was like a kid, and they were talking about Noah's Ark, and they were talking about all the animals being drowned, and I kept asking questions like, well, why were they drowned? Why did they deserve to be drowned? If it's humans he was getting at, why did he kill all the animals? He killed people's pets and babies.
Yeah.
And then they just said I was causing a stink, and I got kicked out.
God forbid you fucking ask questions.
Yeah.
It's a clarification, even in anything. Even as Joe says, he has the wife. Has the wife. Sorry for the phrasing, but has a wife. I'm sure that there's discussions where, in the heat of the moment, things are said that aren't meaning what's meaning, and the best thing to do is ask for clarification. You can only move forward for anything. It's always ask. Make sure you understand what the other person is saying, which is what is good about philosophy to a certain extent. When people start arguing about certain things and certain definitions, fuck yous, man. You fucking jumped on the rocks as atheists, fucking the damn boat. You did twice this week. I've seen 2 videos. I've only watched like 4 videos, and 2 of the videos I've watched of views has had rocks or atheists on it. So at least 50% of your content relative to me is about rocks or atheists.
I think I've only done one, haven't I?
You did one, and then the video the other day, you had like a 10-minute bit at the start where you were talking about it.
We had a rant at the beginning of it,
yeah. It's cathartic.
It was very much cathartic, especially because it reared its head again after the original debacle.
Every year.
Happened.
No, this is the same shit, man.
It is. It really is.
You've got the same you've got a rush of new people coming in, and you've got the people who have been here before, that they've been through the arguments when they come in, and then you've got all the rush of new people who are coming in and around the summertime, April. It's hard to tell now with the COVID and stuff but there's that rush in and around that sort of time, April, May, June, where everybody starts coming in. They're all starting, and now they're all asking these philosophical questions about fucking rocks. And we have to listen to it again. And it shouldn't even be a question. Right?
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
Right, now, this is where we're going to disagree, okay? It shouldn't be a question because the man's intent... The man doesn't have a clue, by the way. A lot of respect for him. If it wasn't for Aaron Ra, I've interviewed the man. I have an awful lot of respect for him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. He's one of the original people. I followed him to the community and all the rest of it. But he's very good at evolution. Very, 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 very good at evolution. I'm just going to leave it at that. But he's entitled to say whatever the fuck he wants, okay? And I know that he carries weight. And what he is saying can go out and uneducate or de-educate, or whatever phrasing you want to use for other people, badly educate them in the actual nitty-gritty of it. But the usage, as in what he is using it for, what the goal, not to say that the goals justify the means, but it's a definition of a word. It's genocide, so you get what I'm saying? It shouldn't be a fucking argument. It just shouldn't be an argument from both sides.
Oh, no, I've got a video talking about the definition of atheism where I said atheists should stop arguing about this definition stop having this definition war because it's pointless. Both sides, both sides have a point, and both sides are valid in using it that way.
We've said it a number of times. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Language is a descriptive thing. You're using it to describe a particular idea, and identity is a personal thing, right? So people should be allowed to label themselves how they want, right? So if someone is suspending judgment and wants to be known as an atheist, fine. Or if they're suspending judgment and want to be known as an agnostic, fine. It really, really doesn't matter. The problem comes when people are telling others what they have to label themselves as. And that's where the argument comes in. Now, I can make an argument of why I prefer the more commonly used definition in philosophy. But that's not me telling you have to use that. Unfortunately, this argument will raise people's hackles, and they'll start saying you're being prescriptive. I was like, no, because you don't have to use it. I'm telling you why I think this is the more logical definition, and this is problems with the other definition. That's not saying you can't use it. I mean, it's all about having a discussion.
The reason that it comes around, I think, is because of the the influence that the man holds and the influence that these people hold. And I think shout out to Luke Bearded Heretic in the chat. You've got a Blue Spanner Man, link your channel. I think he did a video about the AXP and all that's going on over there and stuff. And that particular crowd in Texas, Austin, that group of people do have an awful lot of sway.
They do.
What you're saying, nobody gives a fuck. All right, he's 2 philosophy degrees. He knows what he's talking about. Nobody gives a fuck. It's just the way it is.
My philosophy degrees give me even less clout in the atheist community because philosophy is seen as useless and pointless by most of the atheist community.
Well, right. Well, you've went so far that you've got your bachelor's, you've got your master's. What was your goal going in, Dave?
I just wanted to learn it. I found it interesting.
How long did you spend, if I can ask?
4 years for the bachelor's and 2 years for the master's, but it was an OU. It was with the Open University, so it was all done in my spare time. And
yeah. I know a friend of mine that got his law degree through that there as well. Like, Open University is, if available and can do it, is very, very good. Gives you the freedom to do that. It's a very good resource.
And you've got the benefit in Wales where they give you a grant to do it as well, don't you, Dave?
Yeah, you get funding and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You look to do the same sort of thing in England, and you have to pay through the nose for it.
I'm sorry.
I got a bursary because my mum was a single parent, and then you get the loan and stuff like that there. And I went to university to do physics, maths, and advanced maths. That's what I did. Stuck at it for about a year or so. And as I said to you coming on, different traits and stuff. I don't learn like that. That sort of situation didn't suit me learning style wise. So. And life situations and all that. But everybody who's watched the channel knows that. Fuck it. They don't want to listen to me ramble on about my bullshit. So yous would discuss now. I was actually in the shower thinking of yous in the shower, right? And as we've just discussed about the philosophy, I wouldn't say that your channel is philosophy based. I would say your channel would be more philosophy centered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just like having various discussions on various topics, and a lot of them just happen to be said in philosophy.
With people, and again, no malice or anything for people, but when you get to that point where you get past screaming and shouting over definitions, and everyone understands the reasons behind why you're taking this conversation to a philosophical conversation, to get to that point, as I'm saying, for the clarification, to get down to things. You can say certain words in a philosophical conversation and boom, instantly it portrays that idea. That word says exactly to you what I'm trying to use. And it can be a very productive conversation. What I find when it does end up going down that route is watching a lot of people online, as I say, not yourself, so you can't get this criticism yet because we haven't seen that much, but you pop over to other channels and they're like, what ifs and hypotheticals and this, that, and the other. And it's the same, not arguments, but it's the same bullshit all over again. This is why I feel that philosophy has such a bad reputation. It's like we should have neo-philosophy. Can we bring it up into the modern age? What can we do, folks? Let's not talk about the fucking this, that, and the other of God and the three omnis and what ifs and the trolley problem and all that. We've all done that. what used to be back in maybe whatever time, arbitrary time back in the past, these things were the highest thought in philosophy. These things now are what we mess around with on the internet when we're kids and 17 and 18. We've all seen them even made fun of in TV shows. The cultural influence that they have is now seeped in. We all know what they are. So it's not that we're higher educated, but what was a higher level is now the basic stuff. So when people get to that, it's just boring. We need to do something better. We need to make it more exciting. Like.
Yeah, no, whilst I understand that, sometimes if you're having a discussion about different ethical theories, right, sometimes you can use things like the trolley problem to explain, give an example. If you're a utilitarian, you'll pull the lever, but if you're a Kantian, you won't pull the lever. And so you can use it as a tool to explain these different ethical theories. And thought experiments can be very useful, and they can also help you see the way you're thinking about it, and someone can poke holes in the way you're thinking about it, and you can go, oh yeah, I need to think on this more.
Yeah.
So they're definitely useful tools. But I think you're right. I think a lot of philosophy needs to focus on what it can do in the current world. But that's one of the things I find so interesting about ethics, because what is good? What is it being good? How can we tell if something is actually good? Are there any moral truths, or is it just emotions? There's so many different things you can think about it. And it does apply in every culture and society. We always talk, and we always about being good and bad. There's always that moral language there, and there's other things as well, like the field of epistemology. What is knowledge?
I like that. Yeah. You're going ahead. Yeah. No,
I was just saying, what is knowledge? What does it mean to be rational? And all that sort of thing. What's truth? How do we know if something is true? Can we ever really know if something is true? And all these things are really interesting to think about and to apply different ways of thinking. But people have really, really basic understandings of things like knowledge and truth. Some people just define knowledge as things that you know.
I think that boils down to the fault. Like, I have a distaste for the education system. Now I'm fucking 38. It's been a while since I've been in the education system. It could have changed since that. I wouldn't say I feel let down by it, but there is different ways. People learn in different ways. The VARC model doesn't work. All right, is it the VARC model? I think it's the VARC model.
I'm not sure.
Visual learners, audio learners, kinetic learners, and then whatever it was. It's based in, I wouldn't say pseudoscience, but it's that old. It's based in bad science, right? But so many of the schools go back, oh, you're clearly a visual learner, or you're clearly an audio learner, or whatever. And you tell people this, and they then get stuck into that pattern. But everybody learns different things in different ways. We're all incompetent. The problem, what I'm trying to say, is that the education system has been this way for so long, training people to go out, you're doing this, you're going to a factory, industrial revolution and all that, and it's changed ever so slightly, but it's the same basic foundation. Like, airports are always going to be bad because of the way they started. They're fucked, right? Same with the education system. If it keeps going down this route where this is the way to learn, I refer to it as educational bulimia, because you eat all this information, you vomit it back up again onto a fucking exam, and then you leave and you don't remember it again. With the information that's out there now, and the fact that we have the internet, we should be teaching people how to discern what is true. We should be teaching people, how to discern what is actual knowledge, what is facts, how do you back up a source, how do you make sure something is true, rather than this is the information, remember it. Why? Who cares?
Well, I might have them behind me, but I got kicked out of school when I was 14. I'm the same with the education system. The OU just suited me perfectly. Yeah. And for learning how to think, that's one of the things we try to talk about on the channel. Like, we have discussions about critical thinking, how to question things, and what knowledge is, what belief is, that kind of thing.
Something, if I can, Joe, are your kids toddlers, middle-aged, teenagers?
I've got a 13-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-week-old. She's not even 2 yet, but and 6 weeks.
Yeah. The first 5 years, especially somebody you know, you raise a kid. I'm not saying there's any bad parents out there, but there is bad parents. But people try their best with their kids, you know. But from someone who has a philosophical sort of look on life, watching my wee girl develop, watching her brain actually come to the point where, like, we will have conversations on a Friday night and a Saturday night in bed before she's going down. I read it. I don't even read a story, man. We just finished Michael Crichton or whatever, Crichton or whatever the fuck he's called, Pray. Right? It's taken us nearly a year to read it. We only read 4 or 5 pages a night, like, but that's what I read her at night. We read that, and then she has, like, Daddy, I want to tell you something. My brain thinks this. And that's the way she puts across her inner thought. At 4, that's fucking brilliant. Like, she's very,
nice.
very mature.
It is.
And we talk about things like that. And I'm trying to encourage her to, like, you know, anything you're thinking, honey, just tell me. You know, I want to know. Like, I was dying whenever she was born to find out. Just talk to her. Right? I just wanted to be able to talk to her. When she started saying words, I was so excited so I could have a conversation with her. Now that she can actually talk, I now want to know what she's thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm watching them develop like that, creating a person in society and helping to influence a person like that in society. That is education. And hopefully with that first 5 years development, she will grow up with an innate knowledge, an innate want to learn, you know, an innate, this is the way it is and I can express myself. And nowadays it's like, there's the internet, there's the phone, right? My kid's crying, I'm going to feed them or I'm going to put them in front of a screen. And it's killed the want to learn. And the education system then builds upon that, where it's just, look, you need to do this, you need to answer this. Not to move forward in life, but to just get by.
Yeah.
I'm ranting now, but...
No, I think you're right, though. That's one of the biggest issues with the education system, though. I mean, so many of my teachers were the sit down, shut up, copy off the board, and then read it when you get home, and then you're going to be tested on it the next time you're in. And it was just all of this recycling information. And for the sort of people who have a good memory for things, they might not actually understand it, you know, but they can recycle it. They go, oh, yeah, well, this question relates to this thing. So they don't know what they're talking about. But they're the ones that do well. They're the ones that do really well in the education system. But for pretty much everyone else, you're left bored and you're left without any willingness to learn. The best teachers I had were the ones that treated us as human beings, came in, they made learning fun, they talked to us about things, they found various mnemonics that were a little bit rude that helped us remember certain stuff, and you know, all that sort of shit that you're just like, yeah, wicked, absolutely, you know, fully engaged. And you didn't want to disappoint this teacher either, and you found yourself like doing everything you could, and you know what, they would get the best results.
That was my physics teacher. All right, I'll not say his name. He looked like Johnny Bravo. He did have the big hair and the big muscles and all that there. And he used to fucking go. He used to point stuff at the board like this. He'd be like, "Have you seen this on the board?" And I remember there was one guy being cheeky in the class, and he decided to, you know, the law of pivot. You know, the bigger it is, the easier it is, and all that there. Well, he did that with some guy's arm because he was chatting at the back of class, and the guy's like, "You're fucking be quiet in my class now." A couple of times he would take a class off. You know, he'd come in and he'd be like, "Had a few drinks with a brother last night. We're just going to sit over the computer and we're going to reminisce about shit that's in my wallet." And he spent an entire hour, one class, going through the cards in his wallet just because he was too hungover to do the fucking club. You know.
Brilliant.
And I genuinely, as you say, man, when I went to university and I left university, I felt genuinely like I had let that guy down. You know, because it was physics. It's what it was. He was there to help me, and he'd give me extra bits and stuff like that. He'd seen the light in me and moved me forward and all the rest of it, and I felt like I'd let him down because it was you create, I wouldn't say master apprentice or anything like that, but you have a respect for the person who has tried to help you better yourself, rather than some asshole who's just thrown a fucking book at you.
Yeah, most definitely. It was similar for me, especially with maths. They were. I one teacher especially, Mr. Dunscombe, he was the best maths teacher ever. But generally, I found that I had a good math teacher and a good chemistry teacher as well, and they were the subjects I excelled at.
Physics, maths, chemistry, and biology. I did the 4 of them for A level.
Yeah, and then well, one of the problems I had was when I went to A level. Well, this was both times I went. I just had arseholes for teachers. They didn't care. They talked down to you. They had this sort of self-righteous attitude, and it was just like, yeah,
the mathematics teacher for A level literally lived and breathed maths. All right, that was it. If you couldn't do maths, he had no fucking time for you at all. They wouldn't give him anything lower than a B class or anything like that. If you give him a C or D class, there's no point. He just spent all he was also the year head for upper sixth and all that crack. When you're in A level, when we did A1s, there was 4 of us that did 4. And then they all dropped maths to keep biology because they went to be doctors. And I was going down the physics route, so I dropped biology, which I actually did best in. But physics, chemistry, and mathematics, I'm doing a physics degree. That's the direction. I'm going to drop biology, And it ended up just me and him. And because I could do math, and he understood that, and it was literally just the 2 of us. The other 4 people were like, I can't stand that motherfucker. He's a fucking asshole. See, when it was just me and him, I'd go in, and I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday morning, and he'd be like, would you like a coffee, Robbie? And white coffee at that with the milk and the froth and all that. We had banter. He was a great teacher because he understood that we had, the mathematics. But as you say, you need a teacher that can interact with all these other people. He was great on a level that you can understand, but he was not a people person. He was not a people person at all. But it's finding the way that the person learns, finding the education system. And I think sending all the kids to school for this amount of time in a 9-to-5 basis, just like a fucking job sort of thing, to just learn shit, to vomit it back up again, it gives the kids something to do so that the parents can go to work. That's all it fucking does. There's so many better ways for people to learn.
A lot of school is that, though. It's just basically preparing people to get into the economy and into the market and find jobs and not really get at what they want to learn and why they want to learn it. Just, you can go out and you can do this job now.
Yeah. And the other side of it as well. I mean, I think we'd be much better if we had lessons on critical thinking, logic, ethics, and that sort of thing from a young age, but obviously not too hard at a younger age, but getting harder as you get older. But the problem there is then you'll actually have people in a country that can think, and the government don't want that.
We're not going down that route. We're not going down that route.
No, I almost had to pull out my tinfoil hat.
Hands-on approach, they're quite recently give one last personal testimony, and then we'll go back to what about you, because the interview's about you. But my child's grandfather passed away maybe within this last 6 months or so, and me and Harry would have been very, very close. Dave, you looked the spitting fucking image of him about 5 or 6 years ago, like before he got sick, man. I swear to God, if you shaved your head a wee bit tighter, you look just like him. That's why I'm probably thinking. But at the funeral, the parents and the child's mother are all doing the thing, And there's me and my wee girl, and I was like, come on, she wants to go over to her mother. I'm like, come over here. We walked down into the church fucking place, whatever. Started pulling bark off the tree, looking for insects and things like that. Before I knew it, there's about 6 kids around me, and I'm teaching kids about centipedes and wood lice, and one of them actually got over their fear of spiders over it. They're all yeah, there was one. I was like, come here. It's the tiniest wee thing. She's like, I'm petrified. He's like, it's not going to fucking hurt you. Give me your hand. And I held onto her hand and just put it on her fucking wrist. And she's like, got over but educating is about making it fun as well. You're not going to want to learn unless it's fun.
I think that's probably the hardest thing for teachers. And I think sometimes the good teachers, due to lack of funding and the way the system works, end up having their enthusiasm squashed after a few years as well. And I think that's a shame, because I think teaching is one of the most important jobs, yet it's one of the most underpaid and undervalued jobs. And there is, I'd say nothing better, but there's not much better than a good teacher. And it's a shame that every system squashes a good teacher into whatever shit mold that they use.
Teaching was my backup after wanting to go into the astrophysics. I really like teaching. I really like talking and interacting and things like that. And I think I make people feel at ease. I can get a point across. I can chat, I can articulate myself quite well to a person, But going into education now and being a teacher now, it would just squash me, The girlfriend, Corey, honey dear, if you're still watching, love you. She does babysitting, And if there's two people babysitting, you can obviously have more kids. You can have different ages and stuff like that. And it's not like I'm going to quit my job and the two of us run off with a babysitting job, but that would give me more freedom to look after kids under the age of 5 and 6 and be interactive with them in the garden and do this. And that would give me more freedom, I feel, to influence them than what the school system would be. It's like, if I'm babysitting a child, I'm allowed to take them into the fucking garden and get them dirty and show them worms. If I'm a teacher and I take them outside and put them in the garden, I'm in trouble. It's two different...
Unless you get a permission slip.
Get a fucking permission slip. Or if you're babysitting, you charge them for the fucking extra equipment that you needed.
There's also an argument there that the before 5 years, the preschool years, are some of the most important as well, because as their mind is developing, and if you can actually get them asking the questions in the right way and thinking about things in different way at that age. I mean, they're going to be fuckers in the education system, but they're going to have the right mind on them.
I am determined that my wee girl is going to figure out quantum gravity. It's heading that direction. When she gets to the right age, she's going to figure out quantum gravity. I'm going to teach her to ask questions and nudge her towards math and physics. I took her to the fucking planetarium like twice, man. And it's like quite recent. She's just loving it. Been to the planetarium twice. Went to the adult show as well. Not an adult show, but a more adult show than the kids showing. And she just sat there going, wow, that's space. We went home strong. Me and you's going to space, Daddy. This is what we're going to be doing. Nice. I was teaching her what cosmology was. What was it? She was learning about circles and squares and rectangles in school. And I was like, well, do you know, they're all geometric shapes. She was like, oh, and then she learnt the word geometric shape, and then she now knows an 8-sided thing's called she watches Octobots, if anyone's known that, so that sticks in her mind, because now she's learnt more than her class learned a 6-sided, she now knows an 8, and then it was a dodecahedron, and she now knows that because that's fucking hilarious. She just kept saying dodecahedron. That's a cool one. You make it fun. I'm talking too much about myself, right? I love my daughter. If anyone hasn't seen, I fucking love my daughter, right?
No, good call.
So, your channel, you mainly sit around and talk about how you are better than everyone else. Are you planning on opening it up, and would you just reach out to other people? Would you just reach out to Christians that you don't know? Would you get many trolls in? Would you want more trolls in? Like?
Well, I mean, we've had I don't know if you heard, but Kahil Allah. Yeah, he
was an asshole before he was a Muslim. He's still an asshole now. Yep, that guy. I told him that to his face. I fucking told him that to his face at least twice.
But he converted to Islam. We had him on, and we just had a general chat with him. And recently, we posted a video, 10 questions for theists, and they're not.
You've SJ tomorrow. You've got SJ tomorrow, man.
I do, yeah. You know what? I'll keep my mind open for that one, because I must admit I wasn't. We had Triggerman respond as well, and I was thinking this isn't going to go well. But actually, his responses were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Now we have had some responses.
Triggerman wasn't that triggered.
Yeah, he wasn't. But we have had some responses where, I mean, someone said this question doesn't make sense. It's incoherent. It's illogical. And it's like, what's incoherent? Explain it to me. What's the problem with it? Right. It's just asking for a hypothetical situation. Oh, so it's not a question then? It's like, well, it is a question. It's a question of your opinion about this hypothetical situation. It's illogical. It's assuming this. It's like, oh my God. Like, you're overcomplicating what's quite a simple question, but okay, cool. Right, let's leave it there. As for having theists on the channel, yeah, I mean, we're happy to have it. The idea is we like conversations. We like learning about people, what they believe, why they believe, and hopefully it makes us question why our beliefs as well. And I think that's a good thing. You know, I believe gods don't exist, but if someone can present an argument to me that makes me go, I need to think on that, great. You know, I'd like to think on that. It doesn't have to be about that sort of thing as well. It could be, you know, an ethical situation or anything, you know. The more you sort of unraveling things like theories of truth, the more your mind goes, oh my God, we really don't know much about truth at all. And
see, that's the thing, you know, what is it, the old phrasing, you know, a stupid man thinks he knows everything, a smart man realizes he knows nothing.
I'm a stupid man that knows nothing. So
I hear you're a good DJ.
It's a lie.
I mean, we also do. Philip in the chat is one of our regulars as well. We say he's part of the team, but he
thank you,
refuses
Philip,
to
as well for
accept that.
subscribing earlier. Do appreciate that, Philip.
And we have Bearded Heretic on every now and again, so we can actually have smart people on the channel besides Philip.
I very much enjoyed the conversation with Bearded. Again, with the philosophy and all that. It's something that I feel as well. Once you learn it, it puts you down that route of not only... You don't have to talk about philosophy to think philosophically.
Yeah.
It changes your outlook. It doesn't teach you
what to think. It teaches you how to think.
Yeah, it changes your outlook on life.
Critical thinking is a big part of it as well. So it teaches you to sort of think differently and explore different avenues and just look at problems very differently.
Shout out to Sammy from work who's watching, who literally can't figure out how to type in the live chat. Come on, Sammy. It's not that hard. You click live chat, it'll pop open, you'll see all us fucking idiots talking shite on it, and then you type. And if it says you're not allowed to, you haven't even got an account yet. Sort that out. Hit the subscribe button when you do.
Someone's trying to stir up a bit of drama with rocks at atheists, not atheists.
Go watch my video.
Yeah.
Speaking of drama, if fucking Holy Spackle is out there watching, or if anyone any of my mods can get Holy Spackle's link and drop it in the chat, please. Do go over and watch a video. She has come into possession of one of my childhood stuffed like wee Scotty teddy bear thing, and she is holding it ransom until she gets on to Canon Wars. Now we have agreed that she can be on next month, our new show that we have, me and Savage, but she now wants Cheesecake Factory vouchers, and she's just pushing the boat out. Okay, there's a video about it on her channel. Go over, hit the subscribe button. She's trying to get the numbers up as well. Give it a wee watch. We fucking give me back Scotty. # free Scotty. Okay, free Scotty. I've let the fucking subscribe thing run for a couple of minutes there. I was talking shit. Yeah, so one of my wonderful mods will find Holy Spackles important. We have the boy. We're just checking here in the private chat. So the boys, Joe hasn't agreed to it yet, but me and Dave will pressure him into it. Peer pressure wins all the time. With a wee bit of an after party. So if Philip wants to join, or if any of your regulars that do join as well, man, send them the link. Tell them to come in. We'll, you know.
So are you saying you want me to, get the turntables going? Is that what you mean by after party?
Oh, don't get us started. Oh, let's talk about music, man. Playlists and music, and making a playlist is very, very important. I would use music to better explain emotions to other people than I can. And I know that's a very cliche thing, and people are like, oh, I do that all the time. But no, to spend 12 weeks making a 10 fucking long playlist to properly convey, to the point where you even have to spend 2 days looking for the right video, because these are the right lyrics. Now, who covered it and did a better video than the original? Because it's
yeah.
This video's shit. So you have to go and find the same song in a completely different way. There you go. Sammy figured it out. Hello, Sammy. And also, Pork Granda. Hello, that's my dad. Pork Granda's my dad. Pork Granny, that's my mum.
Hello.
We've got the whole family here now. But,
that's nice. You got support from the family.
Yes. My mum's been around for a while. My dad's quite recently caught up and been hanging around. I was like, we work together. You want to know more and get to know me a wee bit more than what I do at night, come around, chat. Sammy works in the store with my dad. We're going to be having the Christmas do 18th of December, I think it is. So Sammy's good crack. Yeah. So all round. At the end of the day, it's about increasing awareness. It's about making these sort of conversations, like, you know, philosophy is not something I would discuss with my dad. It's not something I would discuss with Sammy. I've discussed philosophy with my mum, because me and her and the whole religious thing, she would be like a spiritual Christian, you know, sort of, God's everywhere, Robbie, but I'm still a Christian, that sort of thing. Don't go to church. And me and her would have an awful lot of, growing up with her, banter back and forth. You know, I can remember my friend asking me a philosophy or a God question or whatever one time. My ma just laughed and left. And she was like, what are you laughing at? He knows the Bible better than you, and you're a Christian. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I don't really talk philosophy with my family. I think they were glad when lockdown happened and I couldn't come around and bug them.
Yeah, none of mine are particularly interested in it either. Some of them like it, the music side of things. They like it when I have a mix, and they're subscribed purely because they like it when a new mix drops. But that's about it. I don't really have any of the conversations with any of them. Yeah, it's a shame really, because I find that they're really interesting conversations. Mm-hmm. But there are times at work where you're having a conversation, you're even having a conversation about like ways we can approach a certain situation at work.
Yeah.
And people say, you're approaching this as such a philosopher, and you're like, I'm not really. I'm just sort of asking questions and poking holes in things, and like thinking maybe we should think about it this way,
right
because
beside
it might
me
be
is
more efficient.
The guy right beside me is one of them. The boys will know him, Pavel. Right? Pavel is Polish. He's very faith healing and all that shit. Right? Putting his hand, oh Jesus, heal Robbie and all this here, because my mask's wet and I can't breathe. Just give me a new mask. I don't need the power of Christ. And then I've got Raymond, who's over beside me, who would be he's from Northern Ireland, but would be also religious, non-denominational or whatever it was. But I would consider him an old Earth creationist. He disagrees with me, but he's an old Earth creationist. I'm not going to be an asshole, but you're an old Earth creationist, right? And I would have conversations with these two boys at work, and I wouldn't say get heated, but there's points and stuff. And him and Pavel and Raymond were talking the day, and then Pavel shouted over, and he was like, "Robbie!" I was like, "What?" And he was like, Jesus come for you soon. And I was like, everybody's been waiting for 2,000 years, man. I'm going to hold on for an wee while. I'm fucking busy. Back to fucking work. And there's banter back and forth because we have a wee bit. But there has been points with it, like the abortion. The abortion thing is very, very staunch with them. And killing is murder and all that sort of stuff. The whole idea of evolution is very staunch for them. And that's what I said to him. I said, you're an old Earth creationist because of your stance on evolution. It's just 7 days God created it. Noah's flood. Right, okay, you're fucking great. No, I'm not, no. But they have that, they get heated. But it's finding the right approach to it, I've lost my trail of thought now because I'm just rambling about work people because all these actual people in real life have turned up.
Well, it's funnily enough that you say an old Earth creationist. I actually met my first young Earth creationist at work. This must be 10, 15 years ago now. The timeline's blurry when you get back that far. Yeah. And I mean, I'd got to a point where I'd fully become an atheist at this point, and but I wasn't like active. I was never having these conversations with anyone. I was just like, right, I've done as much research on this as I can possibly do. I've looked at all these different arguments. I've looked at all these different religions, and I believe they're all false. And then I met a young Earth creationist, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, absolutely lovely guy. Absolutely lovely guy. But it's the thing that first got me in to having the conversations online, because I was like, how can people believe this? And I jumped into various Facebook groups, and it was quite common on these groups. It was like, I've only ever met one in the UK, but it was quite common on Facebook, and obviously for the American influence. And I know there's
never met them till I came to
states of America.
Never met a young Earth creationist. Thought it was a meme. Thought it was a joke until I came to the internet. It's like, these fuckers are real.
Real.
How are they so stupid? And I know that's an awful thing to say, but it's like, over here we're taught education. We're taught education. Over here we're taught evolution. You know. It's
I mean, so was I at my school and everything as well. You know, I mean, I went to a Christian school and everything, but I had a good scientific education there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's against
as far as
the
I know,
law.
most faith schools over here teach evolution.
Yeah. But actually, I mean, I don't even think they're necessarily stupid either, because I've got on Twitter there's a young Earth creationist that I chat to regularly, generally in DMs, and apart from the fact that we disagree heavily on the age of the Earth and creationism, we're actually very, very similar in a lot of ways, and the way we think about things is really similar. And I can't get my head around why he does believe this.
Yeah.
But we actually leave that conversation because, you know, do you know what? Okay, it's something we disagree on, and I'm probably not going to convince him. He's not going to convince me. So let's not have that conversation. Let's talk about all the other things that interest us and bring us together. And that's sort of what we like to do with our channel as well. Rather than have discussions that turn into debates and heated arguments and you're an idiot. That's not what we're about, right? We'd like to have a discussion. I am happy to disagree with someone, but I'd tell them, well, you know, I don't accept it because I see this hole and that hole, but yeah, fair enough. You know, I'd rather be polite with it and respectful as I can be.
Polite and
don't get me
respectful.
wrong.
Yeah. I'm Irish. I've got a different definition of polite and respectful, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's aiming for the same sort of thing, man. Friday night Friday night in an Irish pub down the back in the pool room with some darts, with your mates, with people who are coming in and out and having the conversation. You know, who are willing to sit down and have the conversation with you, as in play a game of pool or whatever, or have some darts, and it will get heated. You may get a pool cue over your back, but when you come back next week, I'll buy you 2 pints and a shot of whiskey to apologise. But we want you to come back. You know, I don't feel that a genuine conversation with a person, when you really are talking about, you know, their epistemology and where they actually find their beliefs and things like that, I don't think you're going to get a true answer unless you get an emotional response. We are emotional creatures, and people are very guarded, especially on the internet. You know, we take the extra step. We put our face in the internet. You know, your names are hidden. You know, I don't know if that's your second name, Joe, but your names are hidden. You know, people can't see them, and there's certain stages that we go through going onto the internet. I know you don't care or whatever, but
I don't care. Yeah. I mean, the name that's showing there. I mean, if you want to show it, you can. But the reason it's there, it's the name that I write under, Davidian, and Davidian is a Machine Head song. And it represents, right, what that name is to me. I used to play an MMORPG called EverQuest, and I had 2 characters, and I had my good character, which was Jewell. He was a druid, and I had my evil character, Davidian, that really wanted to be good. He did everything he could to be a good. I really got into the role playing side of it, but that was him, yeah. So. And it's just what I started writing under. And there was a time where I carried on using this pseudonym for all my articles, and didn't come out saying it was me doing it, because there were certain family members and things like that I thought maybe it could cause a bit of trouble. I just don't care anymore. You know, if they've got a problem with it, well, whatever.
Everybody knows my name's Robbie.
This is me. There you go.
Yeah, everybody knows my name's Robbie. If you did 15 minutes of fucking research, you would probably find me. I don't generally care anymore, you know. It's got to that stage. But I think I may have lost my trail of thought because you interrupted me. Does that mean you win? Because we had a war that we were seeing who could talk the most the entire stream, and now I've lost my trail of thought.
I've been trying to hold back, actually.
We'll give 1 point to Joe for that. But, yep, no, gone. It's gone. Totally gone.
Yeah, everybody knows what my real name is because I use it on Twitter and on Facebook. And I hate Joe for using Davidian because everybody mistakes him for me in the articles.
It's true, actually. There is a lot of... yeah, well, it says that your name's Davidian, so that means that you're David, doesn't it? So therefore you're Trolley Dave. It's like, no, Trolley Dave is Dave.
Too many Daves on the internet. There's too many Daves on the internet.
There's just too many Daves. You can never have enough Daves. Do you know, it was a thing I used to do actually when I was obviously underage. I was always able to buy alcohol. I mean, I know they were a lot more lax on it, but I was the only person of all my friends who just sort of yeah. And,
I've walked into an off license in my school uniform and literally just took my tie off because you had a fucking beard. And I walked in my school uniform and bought alcohol because I was all, I've left my wallet in my car because I took my prefect tie off because that shows I'm 18. It's in the car as well. Give me more.
Brilliant. Yeah, actually, what the local off license that I'd been going into for 3 years, just after I turned 18, I actually put in a job application to work there. And the guy never said anything. I got the job as well.
Nice.
Right,
But
so
I
questions.
think
If I
every
can, I
time
want to give a shout out.
Dave, I gave him a beer. Sorry.
Shout out to the folks in the chat. Start thinking of questions. You've got 5 minutes. Fabio, I see you here. Always good to get you in. We're going to have a wee after party. We can hold up to 9 people. Well, we can hold up to 10, but I only put 9 on screen because that makes a perfect square. 10's too fucking awkward. It needs to be pretty. It has to be pretty. So we've got room for another 6. Fabio, I'll send you the link. If you've got links that you want to send out to maybe Philip or Mr. Willis, I'll send you one as well. Mr. Willis is going to be coming on to the Canon Wars quiz. Yeah, what we do, shout out for Canon Wars quiz. It was on last Thursday, this time last week. It was the new show me and Savage is working on. Canon Wars as in what's canon. It's the only quiz show where our winners get to write the gospel. All right, it's a trivia based quiz show, and I will bring up the categories are general knowledge, geography, world religions, the King James Bible, politics, science, cooking, evolution, philosophy, math, community news and drama, which is basically what shit happened on YouTube this week. Let's poke fun at people. And then there's a drawing round where me and Savage have set up like a dual camera system. So we've got and then we draw, and our team has to then guess what it is. It's quite fun. We do it 4 rounds of everybody gets to pick there's 2 teams of 2, so 4 rounds where everybody gets to pick a category, then the drawing round, and then whoever wins, we split that team, and they then go head to head, and we end up with a winner at the end. Very good fun, went quite well. So Mr. Willis is a newcomer to the channel because of that. So yeah, it must be great. We got him.
Nice.
So yeah, if you want to come on, it's once a month at the minute because we're not sure how many people we can get. 4 teams. We don't want to commit to every week and then struggle to find people to come on. So at the minute we're starting with once a month, first Thursday of every month. But if you and Trolley Dave or Dave and Joe, whatever way, what ways do you say it when you're describing yourselves? Is it Joe and Dave or Dave and Joe?
I think it depends on who's talking.
Everybody goes first when they're discussing themselves. Well, if Answers and Reason would like to come on as a team.
And then you'll all find out we have no answers for anything.
I swear to fuck, if you lose any of the philosophy questions and you're in my team, banned. We're going to blacklist you from the live chat. So what we're going to do is I'm going to schedule the after party. And what I would like Dave and Joe to do, out of the 10 questions that you've asked for theists, Joe, could you pick one and then give it an answer from a theist point of view? And Dave, if you could do the same while I schedule the wee after party.
Yeah, no worries.
Dave, we'll poke you first because you opened your mouth. Now you're getting picked on. Go.
I'm going to have to go look up what the questions were first.
Did you not watch your own challenge video?
I didn't do the video, Joe did.
I did the video and I still have to look them up. Okay, so the questions, I'll just run down the 10 questions for you now, Dave. So obviously the first question was just asking people what religion that they were and what God they believed in, or if they were a secular theist. So ignore question 1 for the sake of this. So question 2 was asking if there was one religion completely different from your own that you could choose to be true, what would it be and why? This is assuming that your religion has been proven false, but you get to choose the one true religion. There was what your favorite verse or story is from a holy book. There was one thing that you wish was not true about your religion. There was the worst arguments that you hear atheists making. If there was one behavior, yeah.
I'll go with the worst arguments atheists make.
Okay.
I don't believe in evolution. I accept it as a fact. There we go.
Yeah.
Or I don't have any beliefs.
That's an easy fucking way out. But anyway,
yeah.
doesn't matter because I've scheduled the after party now anyway. But Joe, give us yours then.
So let's go with, if there was one behavior you could change from your fellow believers, what would it be?
I like that.
I think that it's the almost the dogpiling thing. I mean, the dogpiling thing can apply to both atheists and theists, but it's the dogpiling with, oh, you're going to hell, you just want to sin, and all these assertions that come out of pretty much nowhere. And that negative behavior that isn't actually going to encourage a good dialogue and is going to cause animosity and send theists and non-theists, or atheists, however you want to call it, further away from each other. I don't like behaviors that cause a divide. It's the same issue that I have with things like politics and everything like that. I hate divisive things.
I know. I'd say you liked one of my tweets that I retweeted or something the other day, and it was somebody, an atheist poking, I wouldn't say poking fun, but an atheist pointing out that some of the atheist groups have become as bad as this, and to define yourself as an atheist is just to align yourself with this trail of thought, not to actually define yourself by that one question. So when they say you've got a worldview, and they're like, no, it's not, it's just one question. No, it's become, just as fucking bad. Yeah. It's okay to disagree with people. Definitely. It's okay to I prefer to surround myself with people I disagree with. It's more fun. It's a lot more fun. Who the fuck wants
disagree with in the right way, though?
Yeah. Having the conversation. And this is, like I've been saying, we're moving to the fucking after party and our numbers are jumping. So I don't know, everybody go to the after party. I've just put the link in the fucking chat. Everybody click that link. When the after party hits 15 people, we'll move to the after party. Well, we'll have a 10-minute break because people need to pee. And also, Joe has to go get his decks, so.
No, they're right there.
Oh. We're landed.
I mean,
it's how all of our streams start. So he's got to keep them right there.
Yeah. It's
most people tune in for the music. They hear me speaking and our numbers drop.
Honest to fuck, right? When we brought up how philosophy is boring and how people don't like it, we lost 9 viewers. Not bullshitting. Now they all came back again about 15 minutes later, but they were like, I don't want to listen to the philosophy bullshit. It's fucking boring. And they did. They came back about 9 minutes later, 10 minutes later, whatever it was. But we lost 9 viewers when we started talking about philosophy.
I mean, here's one way to wind up all of your viewers. Maths and science are all extensions of philosophy, and without philosophy, they wouldn't exist.
See, I don't have to wind up my viewers because my viewers will allow me to just kick you for being an ass. And then even wonderfully, I can mute the fucker and he can't come back, so we can't even get a response. We're just going to point at him and laugh.
Yeah, I'll just go with a different one.
It's quite funny, right?
Richard Dawkins.
Yeah. No, it's a mark of respect to be kicked and to be brought back again. We call him Asshole 104 on this channel, Dave. We don't even give him the respect of calling him that name. It sickens me that he's now a hot topic again. But anyway, kicking. See if you do this, doot, doot, and you bring them back in. Now, it won't work with Joe because Joe's in the UK. But you see if you do it with anyone past the East Coast, the delay means you get to catch their response. So they see being kicked when you've brought them back in. So you kick them in the middle of a conversation, and all you see is like, and they come back on camera going. Because of the it's fucking brilliant. But no, mark of respect. So yeah, we're up to 5 people at the after party. Come on, people, come on, jump over to the after party.
Jump over.
Or join. Fuck it. We'll just, if you want to stay, we'll just fucking keep it going here. I'm just gonna put the link in the live chat. Fuck it.
So Dave, I think something that you could do actually is explain the issue in case there are people out there watching that don't understand why I don't believe I accept. That might be just it's pretty basic epistemology, but something that many atheists don't know on the internet.
Okay, yeah.
A smart
Well, in
question.
epistemology, a belief is just something that we accept as true. And in psychology, it's just a mental state of something that we think is true. It has content about something, and that's something we think is true. So if you believe evolution is the case and you accept it as a fact, you believe evolution.
So someone saying,
And-
I don't believe evolution, I accept it, is basically saying, I don't believe evolution, I believe evolution.
Yeah.
Right, but you see, I'm going to be an ass. That's a problem in their language because of the way they've been educated. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But you know what that person's trying to put across. You know that person.
Oh, yeah,
is, no, would you agree, right? You're the one with a fucking PhD, all right? So you fucking listen. I'm
wish.
going to ask you a question, right? Well, whatever it is. Do you understand what that person is trying to say to you? Because you're the one that's asked the question. So you understand where, this person's answer's coming from. They're using bad language, all right? Now, they're not fucking swearing at you, but they're using bad language. Are you trying to educate them on how better to describe themselves, or are you trying to have a conversation with a person? Because if you understand the point that that person is trying to make, even though they are putting it across badly, then what's the point in going, you said it wrong?
It's a bit of both, to be honest.
We have a Sambo in the back room. Does anyone know Sambo? SAMBO.
No.
No. Let me see your face, Sambo. Yeah, we got a face. Oh, it's fucking Sammy. Oh, fuck me. I didn't know who it was, man. You don't let people on, all right? It's called porn bombing. People jump on and flash their dick, like, all right? This shit happens.
What's happening?
You've let him on now.
Sammy's the wonderful guy from that. I don't know. Did you style your hair to have thorns or horns? It looks like you've got horns.
Yes! I'm the devil.
Welcome, Sammy. What did you think of the conversation, Sammy? Right, as a completely new viewer who's watched maybe 6 streams of mine, 7 streams of mine, something like that. Maybe not even.
Crazy.
I actually, right, in all honesty, if I can say, tonight's conversation I thought was fucking fantastic. We covered an awful lot of topics. We delved down into an awful lot of, I wouldn't say epistemology, but the reasons why we were having these conversations as well. I think I thought tonight was I loved tonight. Brilliant.
I had a good time. Yeah, thank you for having us
It's all
on.
Dave. It's all Dave. It's all Dave.
It is all
I
Dave.
wish.
It's always all Dave.
Are you in your mum's bedroom, Sammy?
No, my granny's.
Oh, your granny's. All right. Lovely wallpaper.
Why do you not like it?
It's lovely wallpaper.
Beautiful.
It looks exactly like my
that's
mother
the
has
80s.
in her living room, except it's different colours. It's exactly the same wallpaper. Only yours is more pale and purple, and hers is more red and black and gothic. My mum's cooler than you. Sorry.
Robbie, right enough. I do have.
Fucking
That's
horns.
not right enough.
You've got fucking horns.
I thought it was a style choice.
It
80s
is.
channel, horns.
Oh, we've got Luke now. I love the
So
way it.
that was
Right.
just a horny baby.
This, honest to fuck, there's an auto ad function in the script that I'm running. Remember I showed you two earlier, right? There's an auto ad function for this reason, so I don't have to worry. It didn't auto add Sammy, it auto added Luke. So Luke, the script, the AI trusts you more than Sammy.
I don't mind.
That's a mistake.
That's a definite mistake.
What are you trying to say?
What did you think of tonight's conversation, Luke? Did you enjoy it? Was it good?
I really enjoyed it. That's why I'm joining. I was like, oh, I want to get. I always have to have my 2 cents, as the guys know. So, yeah.
I didn't ask your question because I didn't want to divide the actual, I didn't want to divide the stream. But Luke did ask, who is your favourite part-time host? Who's your favourite,
I got to go with Philip.
Of course.
Well, Philip does philosophy, a real topic. You do a pseudoscience.
Sammy hasn't a
savage.
clue what the fuck's
You're-
going
you're-
on. Like.
You deal with the crystals of science, Luke.
Sammy, what is your belief system then,
Yes.
Sammy? Right, seeing as you're a noob and we've got a couple of people. We'll well, I'm not going to educate you. Dave's going to do that. He's the one with the fucking. Yeah, we're going to pick on you for it, right? Sammy, are you a Christian? Are you a cultural Christian? Are you atheistic? Are you agnostic? Do you know what these words even mean? As a person from outside of the YouTube scene, you know even what agnostic or atheist means,
Yes, I believe.
right?
With what belief?
What? Yeah.
I believe there's some. I believe there's more than something.
Spiritual.
It's a pretty common belief. Yeah.
No, yeah, so spiritual.
It's quite an intuitive belief.
Okay, we're all talking
but
over
that's-
Sammy. I'm going to shut us all up and let Sammy explain himself.
No, I believe there's more than something. I don't know what.
You believe or
that's-
hope?
It's maybe more than hope.
Yeah, because a lot of us would want an afterlife where we all get to hang out with cool people again, like, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you look out at the world, there is something intuitive about, like, it feels designed. It feels like we have something more than all the other animals. Like, we have a certain type of consciousness. So it's understandable to believe that kind of thing.
And to be honest, we evolved with a predisposition to accept these sort of things as well. It's part of our survival. It was an evolutionary survival trait, assigning agency to things. And
People also
Just-
behave better, once the humans once the human, sort of hierarchy get kicked in, people realize, like, if you put a child in a room with no cameras, no windows or whatever, and say, there's 5 sweets, don't eat them. Oh, it fell off the table. It fell to the ground. There's lies going to come out. But if you tell that child, I have a camera there, and you stand at the window and looking at them, they're not going to do it. That idea of a deity above you, always watching, always doing that, I'm not going to lean against the command structure and the church is used to control people. But it's psychology, and it will show that if you're being watched, you're going to behave yourself better.
Are we talking about psychology now? That's great.
Oh, God.
occasionally we
Yeah.
have to address pseudoscience, don't we?
Well, I mean, if you think about a society a couple of thousand years ago, they couldn't afford jails, they couldn't afford a lot of police, they couldn't afford, courts. So if you just tell everybody that you're going to get punished after you die and there's somebody always watching, it sort of keeps that level of control there.
Yeah, so it is one of those bad arguments that atheists use, Religion is a fucking mental illness and all that sort of shit.
Oh,
I hate that one.
I
Okay.
hate that one so much.
That's probably the
Don't get
worst.
me
That would
started.
be my worst one. Like. 'Cause clearly Sammy is mentally deranged,
Robbie.
but it's nothing to do with his religion belief at all.
Robbie,
Yes.
Philip!
can I butt in? Can
Yeah.
I butt in and say, Happy Remembrance Day?
Yes.
Thank you.
15 minutes late.
That's it. That's it.
No, we should have. Should have done that. That should have been done 15 minutes ago. Like, well, at 11 o'clock. I know it's 12 hours late, but 11. So yeah. Well, it is. That's the full fucking. But,
It is.
Depends if you're using a 24-hour clock, though, right?
hang on, right, well,
It depends where you're from.
there you go. We're going to kick him because he's being smart.
But you brought him back.
Yeah, well, you see, that's because he's cool. So it's more of a
It's the
spank
faceless
than a
beard.
slap. A spank's a good thing, a slap's a bad thing. So he gets a spank and he gets brought back anyway. Philip, thank you very much for joining. We've never interacted before, I don't believe, Philip. I've seen you.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, this is the
I've
first
only
time.
ever seen you in their chat, so I have literally no knowledge of Philip at all. So nice to meet you, Philip.
Yeah, very nice to meet you as well. This was a very interesting discussion so far.
Yeah, I thought it went really. It was very good fun. The rapport was good. In the back of my mind, I always had to remember to talk more than Joe. Keep him in line.
Yeah, you're gonna have a much bigger problem with me, I think now.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm literally gonna watch that stream back because I think I partially said it before he interrupted me. So I'm gonna make sure I get it and then email it or DM and tell him to finish that point, so I can get that 1 point back. I need that point back. But Philip, as a regular, and as Dave has put across, his favourite part-time host. What do you think of Answers in Reason? Bearded has just said to me, it'll be a great conversation. We'll give him this. He was right on that. We did have a lot of fun. It took months, but that's Joe's fault. He had to build a fucking studio to have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
You had to bring it to that level to be on the MathPig show. But Philip, what do you think as a viewer of the channel, as an interactor with the channel? What do you think of the boys? Give them a shout out. How would you describe it? I'm rambling. Just fucking talk and interrupt me.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like one of the most accessible sort of philosophy and sort of general interesting discussion channels in the community, sort of like in the sort of atheist community at least. I really do think that they do bring sort of these very sometimes complicated concepts sort of down to more sort of like bar-like level where you're sort of just chatting and having fun, and there's also a lot of depth sometimes in these conversations, and I think it's a very, very nice blend in this regard.
Well, it's the saying, when someone stupid says something about someone who repeats something that somebody intelligent said, it's brought down to a new low. That's what I'm here for.
It's the Chinese whispered, diluted effect.
Yeah.
I think, therefore I am. Can you not see me? I'm clearly here.
I'm here.
But that's, I can't remember who it
big-
was. I think, therefore I am. I made a reference to it because somebody said something. And then they were like, I asked them why, and they were like, just cause. And I was like, no, it's I think because I am, not I say it, therefore it is. They're totally different things. A lot of people are under the belief I say it over and over and over again. It makes it
must
true.
be true.
Yeah.
We recently, me and Corey had never seen it before. I'd watched it once before. The Social Dilemma. Have you ever watched it on Netflix?
No.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting.
It was an interesting look. It was obviously made to get views, and it's got the good graphics and all that sort of thing. But the actual core of it, and the fact that they interviewed the people who they did, was very, very good. I thought it was good, and it's the whole idea of that. I thought it was a good show.
No, I definitely haven't watched it. Sometimes I have to look up things. I'm terrible with names, and not just names of people, but it's worse with people.
What's your name again?
Names of movies and things like that. Joe.
That's why he mostly refers to me as cunt.
Funny you say that. I mean, when I used to DJ a bit more and produce music, my name was Wizard Sleeve.
Wizard Sleeve.
Yeah. What does a wizard sleeve look like? A large cunt.
Yeah, it's a wizard sleeve is a bad connotation over here. I think we're aiming for
That's why.
It's the same.
It's a cracking name, like. We have 7 people waiting at the after party, and we've 16 people here. I don't know. Are we going to move to a different thing? It's been
Can do if you want.
Does anyone need a toilet break?
Yeah,
I need a drink break because
Right.
No.
Right.
I've
We're
done
going to
my
move
diet.
over to the after party. So if anyone wants to go, I will post the link to the after party. Sharing, copying, and posting. Right, that's the after party. Nobody actually in this room needs to do anything. You just hang about here and all the rest of it. But we'll
good
move
to me.
over there. We'll be there in about 5-10 minutes once Joe gets himself. Oh, Joe, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. You have to fucking shill your channel before you run off. Like, come on. Let everybody know. I've just realised that nobody else has been on camera except the 3 of us. But
oops. No, thank you very much for the discussion tonight. It's been really good. I enjoy these sorts of discussions, and this is the sort of stuff that we like to do on our channel too. So if you've enjoyed this sort of discussion and crossing a number of different topics, then maybe you'd enjoy coming over to Answers in Reason. You can find us on YouTube.
links in the description.
And you've got to come on our channel now.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
got to.
Fuck, you don't want me to come onto your channel because I will just give you dogs abuse. Usually be all being philosophy, and I'd be sitting there going, yeah. That was 8 months ago. Oh, this one.
Get to
that
fucking
was a year and a
Starbucks.
half ago. I haven't heard this one in a while. Brilliant, go on ahead.
It'd be great.
And then you'll say rocks as atheists, and I'll just, unfortunately,
We win the channel.
The way it's laid out at the minute, it's laid out for the after party for one guest, so Joe's actually about 3 times the size of everybody else. That'll make him feel good. His wife will tell him different. So, other than that, they've shilled their channel. Sammy, have you anything you'd like to shill? Don't say my surname, don't say where we work. Anything you'd like to promote or shill?
No,
Not a fucking thing, right?
not a fucking thing.
Luke, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't posted much in a while, but there's loads of videos on there, just discussions with a few of my theist friends and a few videos that I've done, essays and stuff. And then some rants as well, some rants about some really bad atheist arguments that I just have to do when I hear them. So there might be one up about the mental illness thing at some point soon, because that really got me. So yeah, just if you want to watch me rant about stuff or listen to me talk to theists, then go see it. Yeah,
Perfect. Philip,
I have no YouTube channel, no nothing. But you can find
don't
me.
even
on
have a
Answers and
fucking
Reasons
icon, man.
sometimes.
You don't even have an icon.
I don't even have an icon. That's true.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Come see
disappointing.
Philip on our channel. He's
Give
the
me
logic
2
master.
things whenever we're off
Logic
screen. When
master,
we're off air for that 5-10 minutes, give me 2 things you like. I'll make you an icon real quick, just like that, man.
Oh, I can turn on the camera as well, like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I have.
It sounds like it's later
turns
in your
out-
part of the world than it is over here.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I don't know how much longer I can stay, but I'll
Right.
try to
Well,
stay a
on
bit
that
longer.
note, what we'll do is I'll run the outro video. Everybody do come back next week. I have absolutely nothing planned whatsoever. But I'll find something. I you know, real life's better at the minute. I'm having the best 6 months of my absolute life. So internet's going to come second, and only the coolest people will get my time. You know?
Oh well, I better go then.
So on that, we'll run the video. Everybody do come back for the after party. Links in the chat. Mods, do your thing. Post it again. We'll see you over there. Subscribe, like, do all that. Thanks to the viewers. Thanks to the Patreons. A massive massive shout out, and thank you to Answers and Reason for coming on.
No, thank you. And all 4 of us are here now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Is this your only 2 actual pop-in hosts?
There's
get
also
Alistair.
Kristen.
We're not doing
And
that. We're going to do it in the
Alistair.
after party. Everybody will be back for the after party. Yay! Bye.
Bye.